and welcome to the second episode of the Shrewscast. We are standing here on a wonderful sunny Monday morning, and standing in front of me is Steve Bird, who is currently coordinating Shrewsbury House Garden team.
Good morning.
Good morning, Steve. Thanks for joining us on the Shrewscast. We're standing here on the lawn in front of the portico of the main house. You've got gardeners active right across the entire site this morning. How many people are actually working here at the moment?
We've got 8 in today, but sometimes we usually have 12 on a Monday morning. A couple of them, because of the weather, have decided not to come in. It's strange because sometimes if it's too hot, they suffer. Sometimes if it's too wet, they suffer. Got a combination of the two today, so they haven't turned up. But usually we have about 12 here on a Monday.
But it's quite a large site. There's a lot of work, isn't there?
There is. I could do with a lot more volunteers. I've got 2 or 3 coming in at the weekend as well, and other volunteers coming through the week. But I'm hoping to get mainly, possibly about 6 or 7 to work on a Saturday, because that's when we generally need to get the work done.
And what kind of work do you have to do to keep the gardens maintained as they are? Because obviously, people come here all the time. Our visitors come here all the time. People come here with their kids. They play on the lawn where we're standing. But at the same time, we've got, I'm just looking away to our left over there, and we've got our own little vineyard around the sort of Mediterranean harbour.
We have indeed. That's the one thing I'm suffering with, because I don't know a lot about grapes. So anyone who's listening who knows anything about grapes, I welcome any information.
And if we look in the other direction, we've got our sunken garden, and we've also got a wildlife garden. Now, I understand that the ecological side is a really important part of what you do with the garden team. Can you give us a sort of an outline of how Shrewsbury House is are sort of environmentally responsible in what we do in the garden?
Well, since I've been out, I've introduced some newts into the pond. I'll be truthful with you, I'd like to see the wildlife garden opened to that. I do take little groups down there, the scouts, the cubs. We go down there just to let them check on the tadpoles. And we have got a resident hedgehog, which I don't point out to a lot of people because I'm frightened it's going to be frightened away as such. But we're improving it week by week. I'm hoping to start an herb garden in the next week or 2. I'd love to have bees, but that's another thing I may have to talk about. But it's getting the local people interested as well, and especially the children. Children love anything like that. I've got a butterfly count coming up in August, so we're going to do that. That's been there. And also we're going to have a sort of like what would you call it, a treasure hunt of flowers for the groups. And what they do is I'm going to tell them, give them a map and let them identify plants around the garden. So that's going to be on one Saturday, I think, in the beginning of August. But that's all in the pipeline at the moment. I'd like to introduce some more nest boxes, maybe some bat boxes as well.
I mean, in terms of the actual physical work, I mean, we've got people just over to our right weeding this morning. Obviously, that's an ongoing chore, if you like. Any gardener would understand that, the weeding, deadheading and so on. But in terms of looking after the garden, do you use any sort of pesticides, that kind of thing?
I've stopped them all. I've stopped all pesticides, mainly because I've got the hedgehog down there. As I was saying, I've got other birds. We feed the birds. We put bird feeders out. If we start putting pesticides down, then you're going to kill the insects that they feed on. Slugs. Not everyone likes slugs and snails. I actually do, but so I try not to kill them. So that's the way. And also, we started a stumpery, down at the end. And I've noticed we've got quite a few frogs and toads moving into that area now. So I don't really want to use any pesticides at all. I don't know if you know this, but over the last couple of years, frogs have really suffered, especially in this area, strangely enough. And I've had people coming in asking me to give them tadpoles from the local. They've each got ponds to introduce them, because you don't see frogs in there. And it's interesting to hear the children, because though they've seen pictures of frogs in Cinderella or various fairy tale stories, they don't actually see one of themselves until they come into here and have a look at them. So it's really good.
And I suppose for local people as well, this is almost like an extension of their own gardens, isn't it? We try to be open to or Shrewsbury House tries to be open to everybody. Do you have feedback from the visitors?
I do. There's lots of people who wish to help, strangely enough, especially the children. Again, they all come on a Saturday. I have about 8 or 9 children here. They're watering, maybe doing a bit of tidying up. But the parents are interested. What I've done is trying to start a sort of plant swap. We're growing quite a lot of vegetables for the cafe. The idea is we're going to have a surplus in certain areas. There's certain bits they won't use it, but we can pass them on. I did it this weekend, strangely enough. We got loads of tomatoes. I gave the tomatoes. We got a couple of plants. And I want to introduce that, and perhaps this will help to get more people involved.
I think so. And one of the reasons we wanted to talk to garden team, to you and the garden team today, was to absolutely make more public what you do. Because I guess sometimes people coming here, sit down with a cup of coffee in the garden here, they might not think about all the work that is going on at least 6 days a week, probably,
Yes.
if not more sometimes, to keep it looking as good as it does.
We certainly need more volunteers, you know. If you're an experienced gardener or an inexperienced gardener, any help, even if it's an hour on a Saturday, just a little bit of digging or seeding or anything like that, most welcome, anytime. Any age group as well. Could you make sure there's a good feed on these plants because they haven't been fed all year? Can you give them a good feed of chicken feed, please? No, I did. Liliana, could you make sure you feed the birds and change all the water? And also, can you put the seeds in here and then water right down the end? Would you like to come and see the wildlife garden? Because I've been talking about it quite a lot, so...
Well, that'd be fantastic. Yes, because I think that's because it's a new initiative here, and it's a really important one, I think, from environmental perspective. So yeah, let's have a look at what you're doing here.
Come this way.
We have to keep it gated, don't we, because of the pond?
We do, yeah, for liability reasons.
Yeah, but I can already see lots of bird feeders and a bird bath.
Come this way, gentlemen.
Thank you.
As you can see, as you just mentioned, we got the bird feeders up. We've introduced 2 bird baths. The pond has now got some resident newts, which we introduced in the last couple of weeks. Unfortunately, they're hidden away, so I can't show them. But we've got plenty of tadpoles, which is, as I mentioned earlier in our chat, the children love to see. In this corner here, I'm opening to start an herb garden. The reason for that is that we've got a resident herbalist starting here, I believe, starting our own club. So we're going to see if we can grow some herbs in here, mainly medicinal ones. We obviously we do the edible ones as well, but we're going to try and do some very old age ones that we probably haven't seen in this part of the country for a long time. As you can see, we've got some various different habitats for the wildlife, but we're also growing vegetables down here this year. It's the first time.
Are these marrows?
These are this is squashes. Sorry, squashes.
Right, okay.
In this corner, we've got pumpkins. So once again, if anyone's got any ideas how to stop the squirrels. And also, as you can see, they've started on our fruits, but that's part of nature. I have to accept it. And these are growing very well. I didn't think these are all been grown from seed, not new plants. We put the children and my group here have put seeds in, and we got 3 of them come up. I'm very pleased. So come back Halloween, and we might have some squashes for you and things like that. So,
Steve Bird, thank you very much for talking to the Shrewscast.
thank you.
Well, we've spoken to Steve Bird, who's the garden coordinator here at Shrewsbury House at the moment. I'm now standing here in another part of the garden with one of the garden volunteers, Liz Breen. Liz, can you tell us how do you come to volunteer at Shrewsbury House? How do you come to be standing here with gardening gloves on?
Well, I'm a student, so this is my summer term, and I got stir crazy at the house, so I decided to look for part-time employment, and they also offered volunteering, so I decided to volunteer for part of the week and then work for part of the week.
So how long have you actually been volunteering here for?
Just the summer, a couple months.
Right. And how have you much experience of gardening before?
Not outside of like parents' vegetable garden.
Right.
This was a way to learn new skills, learn about new plants. I don't do very well with plants, and any hints that Steve can give me is always helpful.
And a leading question, but I mean, have you enjoyed yourself so far?
Yes. I feel like I'm doing something, and it helps to beautify the garden, and it's interesting to come in as the weeks go on and see the progress of the plants.
So in a sense, you're almost part of the rear of house team here. The work happens, and then people come in and enjoy the gardens. Maybe they're not always aware of quite how much work from people like you that comes into it.
Yes, I think that's a large part of it.
Liz, you were telling me before that you're actually from the States and from, in fact, Oklahoma in the Midwest. So an English summer must be rather different to what you're used to back home.
Yes, very different. It's a lot wet and a lot cooler, actually, because currently temperatures where I'm from are 110 Fahrenheit. I don't know what that translates to Celsius-wise, but
Quite a lot.
it's hot.
It's 40 odd, I think, something like that.
Yeah, really hot.
Yeah.
And it's wet. Further south, I know in Texas we get wet weather, but this is...
Obviously, we just had
Yeah.
very, very sad flash floods in Texas, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And so we had torrential rain on Saturday morning, but not quite at that level, thankfully. So it's more comfortable working outdoors, certainly, than maybe we'll be back home.
Oh, yes. Definitely.
Liz Breen, thank you very much for talking to the Shrewscast.
Thank you.
So, Kath Lane, Shrewsbury House manager, we spoke to you in the first Shrewscast about your approach to what was then your very new job. We're now standing here in the garden, and obviously the house is not just the house, it is the house and the gardens. They're big, they're diverse, they're a lot of work and a lot of responsibility for Steve and his team, who we've been talking to this morning while we've been recording this. But how do you see the gardens fitting into what Shrewsbury House does and what Shrewsbury House will do in future?
Well, hello again, Andy. Yes, I'm now 3 months in, so not only have I got used to the house, definitely getting used to the garden. I've been gardening myself at the weekends to understand what's going on. But the house is nothing without its gardens, and it's lovely to see people coming and using the gardens, even if they're not attending any event. They're just coming and hanging out, which is great from a community perspective. What I would really love to see with the gardens, because Steve and I have now broken them down into zones to make it a little bit more manageable, is that we build up our team of volunteers, but with people that are keen to take on a particular zone and have it as a project. Because we've got areas that really could be developed. There's an area at the back of the garden that is bordering onto our annex that is beautiful for a stumpery. So somebody that's looking for a creative area, that wants to put their stamp on the garden, that's really what I'm looking for. Somebody that will spend a few hours a week even, but to take charge of it.
And we've got everything from stumperies and bug hotels and so on to more formal traditional flower beds. So really there's something for everybody anyone who's interested in any aspect of gardening. Is that right?
I agree. And whether you've already got experience of gardening or you've just got an enthusiasm for being out in a green space, there's something here for you to be able to add value to the team and really give back to the community.
And if somebody listening to this wants to come and volunteer in the gardens at Shrewsbury House, how should they do that? How should they approach us?
Two ways of doing it. One that is more formal, which is via our website on Shrewsbury House, which is Get Involved, and you fill out an online form. Or for those that would prefer to just send an email, they can email me at manager@shrewsburyhouse.org. Or if you're in the house, talk to any of the team, and we have got old-fashioned paper forms that you can fill in, and then we'll take it from there. And we start off with a little chat, meet the team, and have an induction so you understand the grounds and the house.
Kath, before we let you go completely, the highlight of August is the Shrewsbury House Summer Festival. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
It is. We are back, and we're bigger and better than before. So August the 1st, which is a Friday, and August the 2nd, which is Saturday, is our festival. We have live music on both days, starting at 6:30 on the Friday and from midday on the Saturday. Live music, lots of food, our garden cafe open. This year we've also got a makers market, so we've got stalls inside. And big news, we have a number of our regular groups doing taster sessions for free throughout the house.
So what kind of activities can people take part in and find out if they really, really want to find a new hobby or a new pastime?
Well, we have made sure that it covers a whole spectrum of ages, so it goes from baby sensory and through to Tai Chi, through to short mat bowls, and a few sessions of keep fit and yoga. So watch this space. As you arrive into the festival, check out what's happening when, because they will be scheduled throughout the whole of the day.
And how can people, do people just turn up or is it ticketed?
It is a ticketed event, so go onto our website for Shrewsbury House. Under events, you'll see a link to get your tickets. It is very great value for £5 for each of the days. And I've got to say, if you are 12 or under, you come in for free.
See you at the festival.
See you there.
Well, that's it for this Shrewscast. Packed with information about the garden and how you can get involved with everything that's happening here at Shrewsbury House for the rest of July and into August. We'll see you for the next Shrewscast next month. Bye-bye.